Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bexar County Court at Law number 6 in the Bexar County Veterans Treatment Court. I'm Judge Wayne Christian. Today is Wednesday, the 16th of March, 2022. Our ADAs today are Mr. Eddie Villarreal, Mr. Arthur Reed. Our CSCD supervisors, Ms. Susan Gross, who I will swear at this time. Ms. Gross, please raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony we're about to give to be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. The two cases we have set on our docket today are cause 596034, State of Texas versus Sean Aguero, represented by Ms. Suzanne Kramer, and cause number 666442, State of Texas versus Kobe Mancias, represented by Mr. Cornelius Cox. Mr. Cox is currently in another Zoom hearing and said he will be with us as soon as he possibly can. So he will be here this morning. Okay, so if Ms. Kramer, are you ready to proceed on Mr. Aguero's case, 596034?
Yes, Judge.
This is cause 596034, State of Texas versus Sean Aguero. This is a first amended motion to revoke community supervision. The first document I'm looking at is entitled Defendant's Consent to Motion to Revoke Hearing by Video Conference. It purports to have both Mr. Aguero's and Ms. Kramer's signatures on it. In fact, Mr. Aguero, is this your signature on this document, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And Ms. Kramer, as attorney for Mr. Aguero, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. The next document I have is entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, which is marked, quote, is a revocation of the defendant's community supervision, and the defendant has a right to appeal the court's actions revoking the community supervision, but not the underlying conviction, unquote. Is this also your signature on this document, Mr. Aguero?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And Ms. Kramer, as attorney for Mr. Aguero, is this also your signature on this document?
Yes, Judge.
Once again, this is a charge of driving while intoxicated, first amended motion to revoke community supervision. My understanding, Ms. Kramer, is that this is an uncontested motion to revoke community supervision, but that the defendant may wish to enter pleas of not true with an explanation on some of these categories, or maybe all these categories.
Yes, Judge, to all of the categories, but pursuant to our conversation that Mr. Aguayo has agreed to, that you can go ahead and hear the case today, even after the not true on everything with an explanation.
Okay, Mr. Aguero and Ms. Kramer, my understanding is that we have two levels of hearings on motion to revoke community supervision. The first would be what I call fully contested motions to revoke community supervision, which in this particular case would probably, the only modification would be that we would attempt to get the actual CSCD supervisor of Mr. Aguero to testify. Otherwise, Ms. Gross just reads off of the documents that person has provided. So if you want a fully contested first amended motion to revoke community supervision, we can see if Ms. Gross can call that witness at this time and see what her status is. Otherwise, you have the ability to plead either true or not true, and just allow me to make a determination as the trier of fact whether or not I believe them to be true or not true. And in that case, I recommend that defendants enter pleas of either true or not true with an explanation, and then they're certainly allowed to put on any evidence they would like to put on or any testimony. Ms. Kramer, what would y'all like to do? Or would you like to go in the breakout room with your client and chat those two options with him?
I've already discussed those options with him, Judge. He understands if he wants to plead not true with everything, with an explanation, and then go forward today. All
right. Is that correct, Mr. Aguero?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Aguero, you're not requesting this court reset for a fully contested first amended motion to revoke community supervision?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir. Okay. That being stated, Mr. Aguero, and cause number 596034 on the first amended motion to revoke community supervision, how do you plead, sir?
Okay, Mr. Aguero, remember I talked to you. You can plead true or not true, and we discussed.
Not true.
Okay. Court accepts a plea of not true to all condition. Ms. Gross, would you please advise the court and the parties of the status of Mr. Aguero's probation?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Aguero, for the record, is residing out of the state of Texas and is reporting to his officer via Zoom. He resides in Colorado. His reporting has been good. We last saw him on February 22nd of 2022. This is his first violation report, first MTR. He has paid $678 towards his fees. He has a balance of $657, and he is delinquent $7. We have no record of any of his 48 hours community service having been completed. He has completed DWI education and the victim impact panel, and we have no proof of completion of the CAT-SNP program or enrollment or completion of a CAT-SNP equivalent in the state of Colorado. He is currently on the Smart Start mobile device, testing it 4 times per day. He's had 2 skip tests and 2 high BRACs, the first one occurring on December 5th, 2022, registering at 0.032, and the second one on March the 2nd, 2022, registering at 0.027. His officer is recommending that he be placed on a SCRAM device for 90 days. He be subject to weekly drug testing and attend an intensive outpatient program. Now, as a result of him residing outside of the state of Texas and him reporting by Zoom, we currently have 0 drug tests on file. As for a criminal history, he has 1 prior arrest for, I believe, an assault bodily injury.
Okay, Ms. Kramer, what are you requesting?
I'm sorry, Judge, you broke up. I didn't hear you.
Sure. What are you requesting, and or would you like to put on any evidence?
Well, Judge, pursuant to the conversation that you and I, Ms. Gross and Mr. Villarreal were part of, I would request that he be continued on probation with 6 blows on the Smart Start and a complete CAT-SNP, which he is currently registered in an equivalent in Colorado.
Okay, state recommendation?
Your Honor, the state recommends continuing the defendant and increasing blows on the Smart Start mobile device to 6 times a day.
All right, Ms. Kramer, I have some questions for Mr. Aguero. Do I have your permission to chat with your client?
Yes, you do.
Mr. Aguero, what do you do in Colorado, sir? Are you going to school? Are you working? What's going on?
I'm currently in nursing school at the Colorado State University.
How far along are you on that?
I have 1.5 years left, and then I'll graduate with my bachelor's. And I currently work for a surgery center on my off days, so I work 1 to 2 days a week.
Are you married? Do you have children?
No, I'm single with no children.
Okay. On the allegations in this particular first amended motion to revoke community supervision, there are 2 allegations of positive alcohol consumption. My understanding in reading the notes of the probation officer is that you deny drinking alcohol. So I guess my question for you, and if that's not true, let me know that also. My question is, how did we get 2 positives for alcohol on you if you're not drinking alcohol?
Like I had told my probation officer, I was tested positive for COVID. So I was taking the NyQuil and the ZQuil at the time, and that has 10% alcohol in it. I had asked her to send me for the alcohol testing, and she does have drug tests on file that I have because I take them periodically for the nursing school, and I send those to her.
Okay. How many urinalysis tests, or how often, I guess would be the better question, are you submitting UAs for the nursing school?
Well, I've already done 2 of them. So the next one is in 6 months. So I've already sent those 2 to my probation officer.
Okay. Do you have the ability to do a monthly urinalysis test for us if I request that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And do you have any objection to that?
I don't.
All right, fair enough. Any questions based on mine, state?
No, Judge, I think that covers everything.
Ms. Kramer, any further questions based on mine?
No, Judge.
Okay. I'm ready to rule. If anybody's got anything else they'd like to do, let me know.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Nothing from the defense.
Mr. Aguero, on cause number 596034, the court accepts your plea of not true to all conditions on the motion to revoke probation, or community supervision, rather. I deny the state's motion to revoke community supervision, order community supervision continue with all prior requirements and no sanction at this time. Although I have the authority to put Mr. Aguero in jail for 30 days to get his attention. Will that be necessary, Mr. Aguero?
No, sir.
Thank you. And alter amend conditions and modify his Smart Start mobile device from 4 blows a day to 6 blows a day, with the understanding that if he shows me a clean 30-day period of time without missing any blows and no high bracs for alcohol, I will immediately put it back at 4 blows a day. That being said, I will not know you've done this. If you do this, you got to let your attorney know. She'll let me know, and then I'll order it. Let's put him on monthly UAs. Get me a UA in the next 10 days, sir. And then I'm going to let your probation officer just have you do a monthly UA in some capacity. And we'll try to make it as easy on you as you can. I don't know, where you're taking your UAs for the nursing, and we can do it there. That might be the best way to do it. I'll let you confer with your attorney and find out whatever the easiest way for you to do that is.
Yes, sir.
And that's it. And then I'm ordering substantial compliance or anything you haven't done yet, you need to start doing. And all I really see is community service hours. And you may have done those and we don't even know about it. Or you can donate $10 an hour to a court charity, which are primarily special operations, wounded warrior organizations, or family violence prevention organizations. Obviously, you're going to be doing community service if you want to do community service that way in Colorado, not in Texas. So if you come up with something with redeeming social value to do, and that's what you would like to do, that's fine with me. You need to find an outpatient drug equivalent to our Community Alliance for Traffic Safety New Intervention Program. Susan, am I correct? He cannot take this online. He's going to have to find something up there. Does that sound right?
That's correct, Your Honor. It needs
to
to be a 16-hour drug and alcohol class.
All right.
And Judge, just to interject, Mr. Aguayo told me that he is doing already something of the equivalent, so you might want to question him as to the details of that.
With regard to outpatient drug alcohol, is that correct?
In connection with the CAT SNP.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Aguero. What you got?
I'm currently enrolled in the CAT SNP there. I am through the Alamo City. I don't remember it, but I'm currently in my 5th week. So I'm doing it every Friday. So I have until, I think my last day is like the middle of April. So I am compliant in doing that as well. My probation officer has all that information.
Okay, and that's a 16-hour program totally?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
That's perfect. Then you're already doing that. We just weren't aware of that. That's all I got. Anybody else got anything you want to add to Mr. Aguero?
Judge, you
Judge.
said substantial compliance within how many days?
10, but he's already doing it. I did not know he'd already registered for an outpatient drug course. He just needs to come up with a plan on his community service, I guess, is the only thing left that I'm aware of. Does that sound right? And come up with $7 to come current on his funds and whatnot.
I wasn't aware I had delinquent of $7. I just paid the amount that it tells me.
I'm gonna lose sleep over your $7, Mr. Aguero.
Now I have a question because I was talking to my probation officer and she said that they could add the charitable donation for the community service hours onto my monthly fees that I pay.
Judge, I'll go into the breakout room with him and Susan and explain how that works. Because
Okay.
Mr. Aguero, the judge did tell you that you can buy out by giving charitable donations, but it was kind of fast. So I'll give you the detailed information.
Okay.
And in regards to that, my only concern is if he doesn't have the money for a Scram device, then how is it he's going to have the money to make donations for community service? I think he needs to work those hours.
Well, I'm going to object to that because the Scram device is $350 and he's still got some time left on his probation where he can spread out his charitable donations where it isn't
I agree.
hitting him at $350 a month.
All true. So Mr. Aguero can make a decision. And once again, as Ms. Kramer points out, he's got plenty of time. He's going to be with us. Is this a 16-month probation? Oh, 1-year probation. He's going to be with us through October, it looks like.
October 13th is his termination date.
So that's like 7 more months. We got plenty of time for him to work out something on his community service. All good, Mr. Aguero?
Yes, sir.
You got any other questions, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further from the state of the defense of Mr. Aguero?
No,
Nothing from the
Judge.
state.
Good luck,
Other
Mr.
than-
Aguero. Thank you, Ms. Kramer. Go ahead.
Thank you. Other than to be placed in the breakout room with him and Ms. Gross so I can explain to him the community service
Sure.
issue. Bye.
Judge, I'll be right back. It won't take
Sure.
me but a second.
No problem. Mr. Cox, are you with us? It says you're with us.
For
There
delay,
he
Judge.
is.
I
Standing
had
in
a
front of-
plea and they yanked me back because we had some problems with it, so I had to go back to do it again.
Cornelius is standing in front of the Supreme Court of the United States.
seeking justice, Judge. Seeking justice.
Are you ready to proceed on Mr. Mancias?
Yes, we're ready, Judge. This is going to be contested.
All right, you want a fully contested hearing on Mr. Mancias, is that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, let me clarify for the record, my understanding of the two options you have with regard to contesting a motion to revoke community supervision. This is a First Amendment motion, enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. And Mr. Mancias, and you, of course, have the option to request a what I call a fully contested First Amendment motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. And what that normally entails is the addition of his actual probation officer to testify on Zoom for us. He also has the option of not requesting a fully contested one. He can still plead not true, but we don't call that probation officer, and Ms. Gross just reads off that probation officer's notes, basically. So there's not a great variation in all this, but we can certainly find out what the status of Mr. Mancias' actual probation officer is and go from there. Would you like to do that?
We would, the preference would be to have his actual probation officer come in.
All right, Ms. Gross, can you see if, I don't know who Mr. Mancias' actual probation officer is. Can you see if she is available to testify today or when her availability would be?
Right. Let me see if he is online. He is. Let me mute you and see if I can give him a call.
Okay. And Mr. Cox, in the future, if you want a fully contested motion, that's okay, but give us as much advance notice as possible. We have this person laid on in advance. We don't have to go look.
Okay. While I wait, Judge, is anybody can talk to the prosecutor?
Sure.
Sure.
All right, I'll put you in. Eddie, go into one, and also Arthur, and I'll put Mr. Cox in there while we're waiting, and y'all can. You.
Do you have any updates, Susan, or are you still looking for them?
Still reaching out, Judge.
Should be able to go. There you go. All right.
5-minute break.